Wife opened our marriage while was deployed, so I built my life without her and now she's. Wife opened our marriage while I was deployed, so I built my life without her and now she regrets it. I, 37 male, have been married to Sharon, 39 female, for 6 years. Known her for 10. I work in the Marines, so I'm deployed for 6 to 7 months of the year. It's tough. I agree, but we both knew what we signed up for. Still, after 6 years of being married, suddenly one day, she drops a bombshell. We were having our usual date night over video call. Good dine with wine and steaks. And she goes, I have something to say. Let's hope in our marriage. I almost choked on my wine. I laughed out loud thinking it was a joke or maybe I misheard. She stared at me to settle down. I went closer to the screen to gauge her actual expression and see if she was just messing up with my head. She stared at me with a straight face. I was in a fun mood. I said, okay, no punchline. No laugh. What are you up to, lady? I wanted to crack her up with my quirks, but dang, she was in no mood for fun. She was freaking serious. She got annoyed by my reaction and asserts, are we done? Can we get back to serious talk? I kept down my wine glass and asked her what's up. Tell me what you have. She said, I've been thinking a lot about this and have come to the conclusion that maybe opening the marriage is the best option for us. You see, we've been married for 6 years now, and I still kind of feel I'm leading a single life. It's practically impossible for any woman to control her urges, for 6 months at a stretch. It's just too much. I've been in this cycle for over a decade now. I've almost forgotten how it feels to get sex whenever you want. Half of my life is just going craving for it. This is more or less a summarized version of her rant. I attentively listened to everything, waiting for a twist in this. She was almost fuming at the end as if she had been holding this up for a long time. I was beyond shock. I didn't understand where it was coming from. I said, I understand it's hard for you. I appreciate everything you do for me in this relationship to keep this spark alive, but unfortunately, there's nothing I could do about it. My work demands this distance, right? She was annoyed and irritated. She wasn't in the mood for any rational discussion. I said, if you don't want to have any practical talks now, let's talk about it later. She said no. She wanted to close this matter right then. She again went on ranting about how she feels lonely most of the time. It's painful to spend special days like birthdays and anniversaries alone. The worst is nursing her sickness and visiting the doctor alone. It's so miserable. She broke down while saying this. I could understand it's tough for her, but what can I do about it? This is what we signed up for. She said she didn't realize it would be this tough and lonely. This wasn't the only time she was upset about being lonely, and it's natural, right? In the initial years of our marriage, our well-wishers even suggested we have a baby to keep her occupied. However, Sharon wasn't ready to raise a baby alone, and I realized it wasn't the solution to dump such a massive responsibility on her shoulders. It was like to get rid of one problem, you create another and a much bigger one. So we collectively decided not to have kids unless I got a desk job, which didn't happen until now. I asked her if she was breaking up with me. She said, no. I love you. I can never leave you. I want to grow old with you, but I'm about to turn 40, and in a few more years, I'll let menopause. I have so little time to enjoy my sexuality. Half of my golden years are going just waiting for you. I don't want that. I want to live a fulfilling life and not die with regret. At this point, I understood this conversation was not going to end up on a pleasant note, and she wasn't seeking permission. She was informing me. I asked her, what do you want? She looked straight into my eyes and said, I want to open this marriage and meet other men. I have needs and they need to be met. I'm doing this whether you like it or not. The situation can easily freak the hell out of any guy. I was no different. Yet, I took a deep breath and asked, so you want to sleep with other men while still being married to me? She nodded. I asked her how this would help her with loneliness. Will those men take care of her when she's sick or celebrate her birthday? What was the deal? She said, I don't know right now whether it is going to be just the physical aspect or if I'm going to date them. But whatever it be sure I love you and only you. They would just be fillers in your absence. Whenever you're back in town, I'll be all yours. I asked her how long this is going to last, a few years or forever. She said she hasn't decided yet. I asked her if she had already cheated on me. She snapped at me saying, no. If I were to cheat, I would have done it under your nose. I need not have this difficult conversation. I don't want to cheat on you. I know you value honesty, and I believe having a transparent conversation is better than lying. According to her, opening up the marriage was better than cheating. Do you see the twisted logic here? It might make sense to some of you, but sorry, I can't buy that. I asked her, do I have any say in this, and she said she has made up her mind. If she doesn't go for it, she'll go crazy. My head was hurting so badly. I reached my breaking point. I said I need some time to sleep over it. She said okay and just hung up without any goodbye. The funny part was I had just come back from home. Must be 3 to 4 weeks into the new sale and she drops this bomb. The next day when we connected, I asked her why she didn't tell me when I was home. She said when I was with her, she didn't feel the need for other men. A part of me wanted to believe that she was suggesting this out of sheer loneliness, but I don't want to make a fool of myself by living in my water bubble. I asked her if she really wants this and have thought about the consequences. She instinctively said yes. I asked her what was the setup. Can I also see other women? How long is this going to last? And how do we manage our finances during this period? Not that I was going to follow her plan. I just wanted to get her sense. She said, I don't think so deeply. What I want is I have someone to cater to my needs when we're gone. And when you're here, it's just the two of us like usual. You can try stuff during your port stay. But when you're back, why do you need other women? I'll be here. Right? This is how we're going to start for now. We'll see how it goes and eventually tweak the plan. Once I feel I'm done exploring everything around, maybe we can close it and go back to our normal life. I said, okay. I hear you. But this is not what I wanted for this marriage. I wanted a pure monogamous relationship. But since you've already made up your mind, I won't stop you. Please remember, I don't want to open the marriage. Still, if you're going ahead with your plan, don't expect me to just sit here and accept it. You might have to face the consequences. She had the nerve to ask, what are you going to do about it? I answered calmly, I'll see. I don't know right now. But if that's the route you're going, the first thing would be you manage your own expenses. I'm going to stop putting money in our joint account. Second, we'll cut off all communication. I don't want to text or call you while you're in the middle of your business. Third, I might also start seeing other women and you would have no terms in that. She giggled as if she has won the lottery. She said, I knew you'd come along. I'm already feeling giddy with excitement. This is going to be fun. I know you won't go too far. How can you leave such a ravishing beauty? And started undressing herself. I said stop. My condition applies from now on, so have fun. I hung up without saying anything else. That was it. I stopped thinking about her and made my plan. She occasionally tried to reach out to me, but I never responded. She posts pictures of her date nights and vacations minus the guys, but no one is a fool to not guess what she's been up to. A selfie in a hot tub with rose petals, candles, and 2 wine glasses in the background is self-explanatory. Her sister texted me one day saying she and their mom were worried about what Shano had been up to and if I knew about all this. I told her the truth that she had opened up the marriage without my consent because she feels lonely between her legs. Yes, Sharon did blow up my phone after that, but who cares? Next week, my vacation is rolling. I have asked my brother to find an apartment for me. I told him the truth and now my parents also know about this. I've also hired a lawyer and discussed my case. Once I'm back in town, I'll meet him and take this forward. I'm not in a hurry. I want to poison her slowly. I have my plans. I'll update it during the vacation or maybe after I return. Thanks for reading this if you have come this far. Sharon dropping the let's open the marriage bomb like that while you're already deployed sounds like she already opened it up. And we all know how well open marriages go when it's one-sided. You both agreed on this life together and now it seems like she's decided that the sacrifices you both made no longer apply to her side of the relationship. This isn't on you. You made it clear that you weren't okay with it. I'm sorry, OP. Update 1. Before I move to the update, I have to address something that has been bothering me. People in my comments section and in general mostly sympathize with women marrying deployed men. Poor girl has to live alone despite being married. What about her needs and stuff like that? Yes, everything they say is true, but no one's forcing her to marry guys like us. It's a choice they make. She lives in a 4-bedroom duplex house with a pool and a patio, drives a car which she never could have afforded from her elementary school teacher's job, carries a bag and wears a watch, which practically costs more than her salary. So you know they don't talk about the perks. Let me tell you, it's not just easy for us either to remain loyal. Our work involves traveling across the world, halting in a port city, and we're given access to pretty much every luxury we want. Yet, some of us choose to remain loyal to our partners and not give in. Sadly, we aren't appreciated enough for it. Now coming to the update. Here's everything that happened during my vacation. Firstly, I didn't go back to the house. My brother had set up a new apartment for me. Besides that, he and his wife hosted me for a few days. I took my niece and nephew for weekend camping. Then, I spent a weekend with my parents in the old town just relaxing and meeting school friends and neighbors. I ensured to post all my activities on social media for her to see. My shore break is mostly about spending time with family and friends and partying with the senior officials of my circle. Let me tell you, these parties were upbeat and most happening thing in the town. Not everyone gets an entry. Sharon loved them and she always used to look forward to attending them. I didn't hesitate to post party pictures, women included. Whenever anyone asked about Sharon, I told them the truth. Soon, everyone in my friend circle knew about her. She even got offensive offers from some of my acquaintances. Well, everyone wants a free ride. In the initial weeks, when she saw my pictures with my family, she was still okay with it. She asked me where I was living and why I didn't go home. And then her message turned to, "Okay, I'll give you the space. I'll wait for you." But when she saw me enjoying these parties, she lost it. She was like, "Why did you abandon me? Didn't we agree to move back to monogamy whenever you're back in town?" I replied to her after months that I didn't agree to anything. "You did stuff you wanted. And now I'm doing what I wanted to do." She said, "Okay, I'll wait for you to come back when you're done." She thought she could emotionally manipulate me after all this. From then on, I focused on rebuilding my life. I joined the badminton club, played 2 hours of doubles, and then go for a swim, joined an upskilling course I had been intending to do for a long while. While she was out exploring her freedom, I was busy carving out a new routine. There can't be a better feeling than ticking off those boxes. I started hitting the gym regularly, going out more often, and reconnecting with old friends. I wasn't interested in revenge or tit-for-tat affairs. I just wanted to rediscover who I was outside of the marriage that clearly wasn't what I thought it was. I couldn't feel happier and healthier. My life actually became happening. In the 4th month of my stay, she reached out again asking for a meeting. Apparently, she wanted to talk about rules for our open marriage, but I wasn't interested. I said, "You're free to do whatever you want. I'm not playing this game with you." When she saw me building a new and better life without her, she couldn't resist but email me saying, "Let's get back to monogamy. I'm done with this," as if it was some kind of door which you can open and close anytime you want. I replied, "That's it," and continued with my life. One day, she showed up and announced at my apartment. She looked nervous and out of place as she stood in the doorway, asking why I was staying there instead of coming home. I told her, "Because I have no intention of living with someone who doesn't respect our marriage." She didn't like that answer and said, "I thought we could figure this out." I replied, "You made your choice. Now I'm making mine." She started crying, saying everyone in the social circle was giving her the cold shoulder. Gnomes inviting her to their parties. My friends and their wives distanced themselves from Sharon, which bothered her. Their wives were once a good friend of Sharon's, but now no one wants a bad apple. They ghosted her. I said, "You reap what you sow." She insisted we go to couples counseling and work on her marriage. I laughed out loud at her suggestion. She asked, "What do you want then?" I said, "You will get to know soon." With teary eyes, she asked, "You met someone, right? You love her, don't you? Are you effing her?" I laughed louder and said, "Keep guessing." She pleaded for her answer, and I yelled, "Get out." She eventually left saying, "I'll regret betraying her trust." I was in constant touch with my lawyer and the paper was almost ready. However, I wanted to serve while I was away on sailing, so that she was left helpless and could not come down to my apartment. The day I left the shore, my attorney got her served. She called me in a panic saying I betrayed her and left her broken. She called my lawyer and said she would fight till the end but not divorce me. She reached out to my parents portraying herself as the victim. She told them my blinds editor. Little did she know that my parents already knew the truth. They rebuked her and cut her off. Soon her mom called me. Sharon had told everyone that we both were aligned on opening the marriage. Though they found it twisted, they realized it was our personal choice. I said, "No way. I had already told your other daughter about Sharon's truth. I was never on board with this filthy idea." She told me Sharon's mental health was deeply affected by everyone cutting her off, everyone excluding her from high-profile parties and get-togethers. These things spread like wildfire, and if she's detached from me, why would she get invited from my circle of people? Her mom asked me if there was any chance for reconciliation. I said, "Not at all. I can't be the husband of a woman who has kept her legs open for tourists for the last 1 year. Who knows what kind of dirt has gone in there?" She told me Sharon wasn't ready for divorce. I said the longer she resists, the painful it is for her because I'm moving forward with my life and she's not going to like it. So talk to her and ask her to cooperate for her own sake. Right now, I'm getting all sorts of texts and voicemails from her, pleadings and begging. I haven't blocked her yet, but will do it soon. Until then, I want to see her suffering. Update 2. Here's the new update. I'm having my shore break again. Divorce proceedings are going on. Sharon has been aggressively pushing back on it. The thing is, she's broke now. The shiny new world she envisioned wasn't as glamorous as she expected. The men with whom she had been going out were there with her for a fun ride. She broke down in front of the magistrate and admitted that opening the marriage was a mistake. She wanted to go back to the way things were as if nothing had happened. After I stopped funding her lifestyle, she burned up her savings to maintain herself, and in a year she exhausted everything. Her schoolteacher's job cannot buy her a Zara dress. Once you lead a lavish life, there's no going back, right? When she opened up the marriage and I pulled back my money, she thought it was temporary and she would manage with her savings. She thought I would eventually come along and continue to fund her lifestyle. That's what her plan was, to practice monogamy during the break and be a slut when I was away. Her plan backfired. I made her a slut forever. She begged for another chance in every court hearing. She even wanted to go back to how things were before this mess. It was easy for her to say let's start afresh, but I couldn't forget the humiliation and trauma I went through for the first 6 months when she broke the news to me. She tactically brought this up when I just started to sail, so she had 6 months in hand before I returned. How could I forget those dark, murky days? In the middle of the ocean, you don't have a lot of options for distraction. You stare at the massive sea and sulk. That's it, and sometimes want to immerse yourself into it. I can't even explain how hard it was for me to cope with the stress. Anyway, the divorce is on the verge of getting finalized. Just one more date. The asset division is done. It's very unfair, but what can we do about it? I'm gonna sell the house because I don't want to go back to a place where she effed our marriage in every corner of the house. She can't have it because she can't pay half its price. It's okay. I don't want to hold on to anything of my past. I've fallen in love with my new life. I've been thriving. I've met new people, built a solid routine, and embraced the freedom that comes with living life on my own terms. I'm not bitter, just grateful that I don't let her choices detail my future. I'm not looking for anyone new, but I don't shy away from meeting new people either. Now I have blocked Sharon from my social network, but she stalks me from new accounts and I could spot her, but I let her peek into my life and see what she has lost. Her Instagram once used to be filled with pictures of high-profile parties, exotic holidays, and private beaches, and now there's just sad quotes all over her feed. That's what you get in return for effing up your stable marriage. Thanks for reading. You're putting in the hard work, staying local and committed to your partner while being far from home, which I think often gets overshadowed by the narrative that it's just about poor Sharon being alone. No, not poor Sharon. She made a vow when she married you, and she should have honored that. What she did was extremely selfish. But, anyway, you're in a great place to continue thriving and focusing on your own journey, OP.